Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're discussing the Patek Philippe 5970J. This is the 5970J that debuted in 2008 and was discontinued scarcely a year later. The rarest and most desirable of the 5970 models. You can see and you can purchase this one on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this Perpetual Calendar chronograph with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details, again, for this 5970J in yellow gold. Now, the normal hierarchy with Patek Philippe Grand Complications, indeed with most Patek Philippe timepieces since periods immemorial, has been that the most common variants were either yellow gold or rose gold, and then you have a escalating series of steps in value and collectability that generally correspond to production numbers that get smaller and smaller and metals that get whiter and whiter. This watch breaks up that pattern because although there are plenty of 5970Js in white metals and rose gold, the bottom line is that the yellow gold model, the most traditional, was only produced for one model year. So the 5970 had a short run from 2004 to 2010, and this was a one-year wonder within that short reign. So take one of the rarest and most desirable and best-sized Patek Philippe Grand Complications, add rarity, and you wind up with a spectacular piece that you can buy to enjoy, but also watch appreciate over time. I rarely call a watch an investment. This is an investment. But you're going to enjoy the experience of watching your money increase because, quite frankly, the watch is a pleasure to wear and own, and you must wear it if you own it. 40 millimeters across the round of the case, not including chronograph, pushers, or crown. The watch is 13.2 millimeters thick, but it easily slides underneath any dress cuff. First of all, 13.2 is not thick, but with the generously sloped case flank and slightly concave bezel, it will slide underneath any tight dress sleeve, not just the jacket cuff. The watch is reasonably compact from lug-to-lug too. At 46.6 millimeters, you can wear this watch easily on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters in circumference, and you'll wear it with proportion and security. You can see that the lugs are pronounced, although short and tightly downturned to fit a smaller wrist. If you look at the step between case band and the lug, now this is a soldered-on lug design, which means that there's actually a weld between the lug and the case to join the two, and then extensive hand finishing removes the evidence of the welded joint between them. The fact that the lugs actually step out from the case band gives the watch a strong, hard-edged, masculine character to match the sensuous, smooth curves of the bezel and the mid-case. The strap is handsome, medium brown, rectangular scale alligator leather, monotone stitch with a folded edge. You can see on the bottom it is a Patek Philippe factory strap that is calfskin underneath. Full gold, yellow gold, Patek Philippe deployant clasp for security when donning or removing, all of high polish inside, filigree Calatrava cross on the outside. It adds to the heft of the watch in the sense that you truly are wearing something of a premium provenance. All of high polish, the watch has more than enough character lines, curved and straight, to break up the mass of metal. This is a watch that looks proper in colored gold. It looks natural. The dial is what Patek Philippe describes as opaline. Patek Philippe opaline dials run the gamut from almost gray to almost an ecru vanilla tinged tone, and this one is sort of in the middle of that spectrum. It's certainly not a conventional silver metallic. It has a very slight pebbly grain to it. It has a tendency to reflect light with a soft glow rather than the harsh shine of something like a sunburst grain. It's also robustly calibrated, and it is appointed in a deluxe fashion, as you can see, with all applied and diamond polished yellow gold indices, fully faceted to reflect light beautifully, and you can see that to advantage from this angle. Note the hands that center a beautifully arced and hand finished yellow gold foy or leaf style. You'll also note outboard a tachymeter scale base 1000 for timing the speed of an object over a fixed distance, such as a standing kilometer, for you racing fans out there. And if you are going to rock around the clock, this one features a complete calendar perpetual mechanism. So you have your leap year at center, at 3 o'clock. You have your moon phase and your date radially arrayed with a crescent-style moon phase at 6. You have your day and you have your month, and note the step of the apertures for the day and the month to gradually transition down from the dial to the plane of the discs. You'll also note maximum usage of different registers, such as the presence of your constant seconds at 9 o'clock. Inboard is the 24-hour scale that you can use, once again, race fans, for gauging the time of day, but also to take note of the danger zone period during which you should not be attempting to set the calendar system. Now, the watch features a crisp column wheel chronograph caliber. You feel it, you hear it, and it's a sensation to operate. Crisp under the finger. You can feel it because it is a well-tuned traditional column wheel. You can see it's capped in the characteristic Geneva fashion with a black polished crown. By the way, how many black polished surfaces can you count here? Poly Noir is the highest standard of optical finish. It turns black when it is not directly reflecting light at your eye. That's why it's known as black polish. So you can just see how much of this movement is finished to that, the highest optical standard, just by moving it through the light. Now you can see the interaction. I'm going to show you how this works. The horns and the levers of the chronograph system cycling through the column wheel. The column wheel is capped both for aesthetic purposes for the Geneva Seal certification, but also because it has a functional purpose. Like so much of watch finish, it comes from an engineering need. The idea being to resist the exit of the horns of the levers from the crenellated columns of the wheel, so they won't pop out under circumstances of impact or vibration. That's the origin of the capped column wheel concept, but as you can see, executed with virtuosity. And this is a Geneva seal movement, as this watch was made only for the 2008 model year, and the Patek Philippe seal was introduced in mid-2009. You can also see the Gyromax architecture of the balance. That is a free-sprung balance, so all adjustments are done using variable inertia balance blocks on the enormous balance, which you can see is almost 1/3 the diameter of the whole movement. And for those keeping score, this is the Patek Philippe CH27, based on the Lemania 2310 Abauche that in another life, in another setting, went to the moon on Apollo 11 in an Omega. But this is finished to a much higher standard, starting with the Gyromax system, which is Patek's own for taking and holding precise regulation, and then better retaining it in the face of bumps and vibrations on the wrist. It beats away at 18,000 vibrations per hour, so it's a slow beat, 2.5 hertz, and it does feature a Breguet overcoil hairspring to give it concentric beating in any position, so it's not susceptible to as much positional variation as a conventional flat hairspring. That's the advantage of the overcoil. Now, what you'll also know about the movement is that it has a 48-hour power reserve manually wound, but what you don't know is just what a pleasure it is to wind. It has a grittier, more mechanical feel to it than subsequent manual wind Patek Philippe chronograph calibers. It is truly special. Everything about this watch is exceptional. Some of it has a distinct vintage feel to it, such as the architecture of the movement, the slow beat of that huge balance, and again, the mechanical detents of the winding system. It is just an absolute pleasure, a sensation for the senses, whether you're looking at it or operating it. This is one to buy, to enjoy today, to give to your kids tomorrow. Who knows, your grandkids may sell it and buy several houses. But quite frankly, I hope whoever buys this buys it with the investment notion as a background concept. This is a watch that is too beautiful not to see the light of day and the warmth of your wrist. It has enough warmth and soul of its own. Will you be the final piece of the puzzle? See and own this Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar chronograph on our website.